Hello, Patriots. This is True Outlaw Patriot. Um, Wanted to make this video a little earlier today, but this is something that really needs to be investigated. Came across this by one of the YouTube content creators. Name is Omoj Blog TV. Want to give him a shout out. Excuse me. Um, he There seems to be don't know if it's a rumor or they're really trying to hide it if it's true, but supposedly there was an altercation between FEMA, people from FEMA, and some military personnel in Hawaii. Supposedly some military personnel came across FEMA dumping bodies in a mass grave. um, and if this is true, boy oh boy, this is it is just unthinkable. But let's check this out real quick. And again, please don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, give it a thumbs up, put on your notification bell so every time I drop a video you guys can get it. And I want to thank all the new subscribers for checking out my content. But let's check this out.
Coming in from Maui. What is going on here? I'm from Montana normally, and this feels like out of the Wild West. Read this headline. Marines neutralize fleeing FEMA convoy in Maui? What the heck? Let's see what's going on with this. This is dated off rawrealnews.com. You can type that headline in and it's reported on multiple sites. I would love to know your thoughts about this, but let's read on. United States Marines on Friday neutralized a FEMA convoy that fled fire-stricken Lahaina for Haleakala National Park, a 33,000-acre wilderness and home to the state's highest peak, Mount Haleakala, from where FEMA might have escaped had the Marines not downed a helicopter sent to rescue the federal brigands. The chase began early Friday morning when a Marine platoon and FEMA had a shootout in the Maui Forest Reserve east of Lahaina Beach. Responding to intelligence reports, the Marines caught FEMA red-handed, burying corpses in an earthen grave the feds had evacuated with backhoes. Burying corpses in an earthen grave the feds had evacuated with a backhoe. A procession of FEMA agents hauled the bodies of men, women, and children out of an M35 deuce and a half cargo truck and heaped them atop another as federal supervisor.
Did you hear that? FEMA agents hauled the bodies of men, women, and children out of an M35 deuce and a half cargo truck and heaped them on top of one another as federal supervisors stood around smoking cigarettes and drinking coffee. Does anybody find this kind of strange? And this was August 20th. Okay. Now, we've been watching the news. We've been watching people asking questions, asking the mayor, asking the governor, asking the police chief, where are the bodies? Where are the children? What's going on? What's the body count? Does anybody find that strange? Now, was it the bodies of the deceased already that they found, the ones that died in the water, the ones that they found that their bodies weren't affected by the fire? I mean, if this is true, how come this is not, I mean, plastered all over the news? Remember my other videos, I was talking about something doesn't sound right. Where are these bodies? Where are the families and stuff looking for their loved ones from different parts of the island, coming in and saying, listen, I had an aunt, I had an uncle, father, brother, sister, grandmother, whatever the case is. And now they're saying the Marines had a shootout with FEMA officials? Since when does FEMA engage, with deadly force and against U.S. military soldiers, for that matter? But let's continue.
Supervisors stood around smoking cigarettes and drinking coffee? Is this real? The Marines had dismounted a distance away and had crept into FEMA AO undetected. FEMA Real Raw News' source in General Smith's office would later say, we were more interested in cracking insensitive jokes about the dead than posting lookouts or watch for white hat forces. I don't know. Did this really happen? We're talking about grenades and helicopters and FEMA? I don't know, but I have seen local reports of many people saying that they've seen FEMA dumping donations into the dump instead of giving them to the people. And we've
Now that much we know. I mean, there have been people outing them out. There's even video. I've uploaded some of that video onto some of my content to show it, where, well, not the actual dumping, but of them holding pallets of food and not letting people get to it. And then the mainstream media claiming that there's been mass looting and mass looting going on, but some of the locals came out and were able to send out video saying that it's not looting per se, like people are going crazy just trying to loot. No, what they were doing was going into where FEMA was leaving all those pallets of food and supplies and taking it because they needed it. It wasn't like they were breaking into stores and stuff like that or going to different parts of the island doing that. No. So they made it seem as if people were going into the burn zone. I hate using that term, but into the, you know, let's just say ground zero. Okay, let's put it that way. Like looting for stuff. What would they be looting for if everything has been turned to rubble? So that much we know is true. So we still go back to the main question that everybody has been asking, and not just me. I mean, content creators, I mean, different news medias, they're asking, what is the body count? Where are the bodies? Like, what's going on? And again, the mayor has been very pompous about it. The governor hasn't really said nothing about it. I mean, the police, the chief of police made his little statement, you know, when he said that, oh, that people are walking around and, you know, they could be stepping on evidence and all this stuff. Yeah, but you mean to tell me with all these people, hundreds and hundreds of people missing, where is the video showing? And I hate to sound gross about it, but usually in a disaster, you will see them pulling body bags. All you keep seeing is people walking around with their dogs, almost walking aimlessly, like in circles, not even lifting up debris. There's no backhoes. You don't see anybody having like human chains where they're moving debris, you know, like in a natural disaster. You don't see none of that. So it makes you wonder. They closed the area down through all the chaos. Were they grabbing bodies? Did they, you know, something? We already know this is not right. It's not that something's not right. We already know this is not right. And this sounds very. The more that's coming out, it truly seems like, in my opinion, it seems like this has been. They have been trying to. They try to commit genocide. They're trying to get rid of the people from that area in Maui. But let's continue.
We've seen others reporting them taking supplies and not dispersing them to people. Can we trust FEMA? What the heck is going on? If you have any news about this, I would love to know. I was kind of checked out. Since last Thursday, I went to recharge in the jungle alone, away from all media. And so I haven't really been even looking on social media. But I would love to know. And here's another comment that I found on a local Maui page. Does anyone know why there are so many DEA in Kihei walking around with guns? What the heck is going on here? Kihei is really far from Lahaina, and I heard that the DEA agents, which usually deal with drugs, are staying here in Kihei where I live. Really interesting. Do you have any thoughts? Do you have any experiences with this? Please share. If we know one thing, what's being reported on the news is absolutely not the truth of really what's happening on the ground. They're still reporting the body count as in the 100s. And I can tune into this psychically, and many people are also reporting that it is way higher than that. They're only giving the number of bodies that they can somewhat identify, and the entire area was pretty much incinerated. And so the bodies are not being able to be identified, and I don't think they'll ever get a true count. Honestly, if they're trying to, DNA test these remains over this massive area where an entire city was incinerated to the ground. But when I tune into that, the number that I get and take what resonates is 1,361 lives lost. That is humans. And when I tune into animals, I get 580.
Yes. Wait.
Okay, so I'm not. I mean, if that's how she feels, that's how she feels. I'm not into that whole psychic thing, but my thing is this: if it's in black and white, could it have been somebody putting out some false information? It's a possibility. Okay, but you would think that something like that, to say that the military engaged with FEMA, would definitely be shut down. Because if it's not true, that's the last kind of information you want put out there by somebody who's just, putting something out. But it almost just makes sense that that none of the political officials truly have okay, this is the way I say it. They don't have a full body count. That's fine. Sometimes that could take weeks. I mean, after 9/11, it took months. I mean, months upon months before they can, really start finding out exactly what the death toll was. But here's the thing: a lot of that information to find out who was who was them getting information from family members and friends and businesses of who went to work, who didn't go to work, who clocked in, who didn't clock in. It was a coordinated effort to find out who was who. And I said it before and I'll say it again, that you don't see that information on TV. You do not, the governor nor the mayor, from what I have seen so far, and I've looked at, too much video. I have yet to see the police chief, the governor, or the mayor asking anybody, if you've had family or friends in Maui, please come forward, give us a name of whoever that might have been in the area that day. In other words, so they can cancel out if the person is away, if the person was there. It's like they're doing nothing to find out what the actual body count is. And then to have something like this put out in the past few days, the past couple of days, doesn't anybody find that strange? I mean, I've been questioning the whole thing just about the kids alone. And that's another thing. They're saying that they don't have an actual body a body count of the kids. Well, if that's the case and the kids were sent home from school, now unless the school burnt down, which they haven't said yet, any of the schools, but I'm assuming, if they were in the in the area, then it's a big possibility. But if they send the kids home, that means that teachers and staff left right afterwards, so they probably made it out, at least a good handful of them. How come no teachers are coming forward? Has anybody asked that question? How come no teachers have come forward and said, you know what, there was 13 kids in my class that day, I sent them home. There was 30 kids in my class that day, I sent them home. You see what I'm saying? How easy it is to put numbers together? And nobody's doing it. This doesn't, it just doesn't jive anymore. I'm sorry. And if it is true that the military did catch FEMA doing this, then there definitely needs to be a federal investigation. Congress, both sides of the aisle need to get together and start asking hard fucking questions. Excuse the language. I'm trying to clean it up as best I can, but my anger comes out. But there has to be an emergency hearing in Washington. There just has to be. There's no ifs and buts about it. This is not political. It is not pointing the finger at which party. No. These are Americans, hundreds, if not thousands of Americans. And if Joe Biden cannot rally the troops, Joe Biden needs to be impeached and kicked out. Kamala Harris, every single body that wants to turn, even Republicans, whoever want to turn their back on this, they need to step down. They need to walk away and step down. Because this is totally unacceptable. Totally unacceptable. I was watching another video earlier where a man was livid about Joe Biden, and he said the same thing that upset him, that upset me too. It's as if nobody cares that all these kids that were sent home were by themselves at home with no parents, no guardians, nobody, while they were going through this horror. All by themselves. And damn it, doesn't anybody have any fucking compassion for that? What the hell is going on? And if the media, if the social media companies, if the mainstream media, if they're trying to hide this, then fucking shame on you. These are precious lives that have been lost. I'm True Outlaw Patriot. Please comment, like, subscribe. Like I said, I'm trying to clean it up with my language, but it's very hard when you see this kind of wickedness and chaos going on, and it's not just Hawaii, it's everything else that's going on at the border, the criminals that are coming in, everything is going in different states, you know, crime, whatever it is. Enough is enough is enough. And pass the word. Stop being afraid of censorship. Damn it, we live by a constitution. We live in a constitutional republic, not a fucking democracy. Tyrants rule democracies. Remember that. But please, comment, like, subscribe, give it a thumbs up, pass it around. And remember, stay vigilant, keep praying, and keep praying for each other. Peace.